Should you give an F about 2018's Marvel Spider-Man? A Platinum Review. Welcome everyone to FF Media, my name is Dylan and I'm here to swing through and give you a full review of my Platinum journey with 2018's Marvel Spider-Man. Be warned though, this review contains full spoilers. As a new member of the PlayStation ecosystem, I've been catching up on and platinuming many games I've missed. If you love Platinums like I do and want to see a review on this game plus many more Platinum perspectives, be sure to hit that subscribe button and notification bell for more reviews on games, movies, and more. Let's start off with the story and setting. Marvel Spider-Man drops you right into an established Spider-Man's world in New York City. He's matured, having already taken on major villains like Rhino and Vulture. The story assumes you know the great power and great responsibility mantra and gets right into the action with more villains soon to be up front and center. The New York City feels large, alive, and buzzing with activity. For a completionist, the map is a dream. It's filled with a galore of mini-map icons like criminal events and Taskmaster challenges. It truly feels alive with noise and the people of a busy city. The narrative is one of the best superhero stories told in any format. It has the luxury of moving at your own pace since this is a video game, allowing you to get sidetracked to help people and learn more background information on things you may not even know you wanted to know. The story was engaging even when you knew Dr. Octavius was on his way to become Doc Ock. His descent into madness really pays off in the end. I should have expected the Sinister Six to be the ultimate villains, given they were in prison from the start to lead up to inevitable breakout. While Doc Ock fight at the end was well done from a narrative standpoint and had a cinematic finish at the end, it did end up being more of a quick time event, having to go from fighting for a moment to pushing buttons at a certain moment to then ending up with a cinematic event that still was just a quick time event. Miles Morales was a great addition, and it was exciting to see him when you first meet his father, who tragically passed away from the bombing inside of New York City during the event of Osborn's campaign trail. I was excited to see where this story would take it from there, and it was nice seeing him develop into his own character. Mary Jane and Peter's strained relationship felt real, and it was nice to see such a good, uncliched story, until the ultimate end when you see the death of Aunt May at the end was a tearjerker. I didn't expect the heart-wrenching decision of saving the city or saving your family, and that really got to me. At the very end, you have a cliffhanger. Norman's holding Harry in his lab the entire time to save him from his illness. It was a great cliffhanger for Spider-Man 2 and makes you really excited to play the sequel. On to the gameplay. The combat feels similar to the Batman Arkham series, but is more fluid and loose, fitting for a superhero who swings through the air. As someone who's played both in some degree, I would say this, while looser, isn't a bad thing, and it makes sense since you are playing as Spider-Man to be a little quicker. The game allows you to look over the menu for suits and gadgets that enhance your stats and certain abilities. I found the options weren't vastly different from one another, and I mainly relied on the ones that offered an area effect, damage, or stun that really cleared out the area I was fighting the most. Because all in all, the boss battles that you fight aren't really that difficult, while visually very appealing. The combat is easy, enjoyable, and something that is quick to master. I'll be honest, over time, especially when you start to platinum the game, it does get pretty tedious and requires some breaks in between sessions, just because you're doing the same motions over and over, but overall the story is very fun, and the world kept me pushing through it very quickly. My favorite boss fight of this is definitely the battle between you and Mr. Negative or Martin Lee. It was definitely sad to see such a tragic character go through his childhood of being worked on through his family trying to cure his illness and becoming this monster that ultimately was Osborn's fault, and Doc Ock using that to twist and turn him into this monster. The fight there was very cinematic, as most of this game is. It's very visually appealing where you see all the negative visuals in there, and I enjoyed seeing what ultimately became a monster fight into a one-on-one battle with somebody that was very fast, and that's what made it my favorite. Lastly, we'll go on to the platinum experience I had. Overall, the platinum for Marvel Spider-Man is very easy. It took me about 60 casual hours of gameplay. Crucially, there are no missable trophies and required full replays, which is always a relief from a platinum player. I hate having to replay games. When I'm in the middle of it and I realize, oh my gosh, I can't go back to do this collectible and I'll have to replay the whole game and I don't have a save to go back to, it makes me want to check out. But as a platinum player, you know that you always do that replay because you gotta finish the game. My biggest piece of advice for platinuming this game are three main things. Don't worry about missables, just play the game at your own pace. I promise you, you can just go through A to B in this story and you will be okay. Save your points. Do not spend them on suits or gadgets early on, as you can cheese these related trophies later, and the game is easy enough without them. Your main goal with these points is that you're going to create a manual save, buy enough gadgets to get the 15-point trophy, reload the save, buy all the suits, so that way you can just go through the suit options and you're able to get the trophy through that as well. You do not need to get the additional DLC or extra content related suits or gadgets that are required. It's just the first 23 that are shown. Once you have spent enough points to get the related trophies, you are more than willing to go all out on your points, engage with the systems of gadgets and suits, and really fine-tune whatever powers you want to use. Lastly, my final piece of advice, always do criminal world events. When they pop up, it's random. I have read online that you do 300 to 1,000 kilometers of travel to trigger each one, so that variance adds on to the time for the platinum. If you do them as you go through the story and they pop up, it makes the in-game grind a lot better, and you've already completed the majority of them. The majority of the platinum involves cleaning up the world events left on the map, as I mentioned before. Things like research labs, which involve Harry's labs, and adding to the Oscorp story to better the whole of New York City to make sure that it's safer, healthier, and keeps it funded by Oscorp. Really adds to the story you wouldn't have experienced if you never went that to begin with. The Taskmaster challenges of seeing if Spider-Man is able to step up to the challenge of becoming this great hero he always knew, to end up, I guess, becoming a part of this organization that's not really announced, which, if you know the Spider-Man story, you have a good idea of what that organization is. And the last couple of being catching a gentleman's pigeon, so that way you can help him bring together and tell a story about his wife that had passed. The biggest part of this, especially with the platinum, is the crime cleanup piece. Sable Corporation being the biggest. Do anything with them that you would normally do between your gadgets and webbing them. You have to work extra hard to beating them, and that's where the biggest part of combat fatigue sets in. But the varied activities throughout the world really keeps the world alive, fun. The biggest compliment that I can give the world is, instead of fast traveling besides the times I needed to for one of the trophies, the world felt fun, enjoyable to view, and swinging is just so damn enjoyable that the traversal between the boroughs is one of the best parts about this game and lessens the problems with having to get this platinum. My final verdict on this, when I got my platinum, is that Marvel's Spider-Man really holds up well to this day, even almost 10 years later. Without the platinum, the game is absolutely worth your time, making you feel like a hero you know from the big screen in the comics. Even for the platinum, the late game combat grind, the sheer joy of swinging from objective to objective, it's something the other open world games today fail to capture, that enjoyment and excitement. It kept me engaged throughout my time, and I don't regret any of my time with this experience. I recommend this game to anyone looking to catch up on a certified classic or even wanting to complete this platinum. It's a great experience for either audience. Overall, I give 2018's Marvel Spider-Man 5 Fs out of 5, whether you're a platinum player or not. For more reviews on games, platinums, movies, and more, consider subscribing and hitting that notification bell for more content. Stay tuned for more.
I think I'm actually gonna miss you and your Death Troopers.
Unfortunately, my agent